Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your brother in this spiritual struggle coming at you once again. Now, um, what I'm about to cover for you is a very, hopefully, not too deep of a subject for some of you. Because I want you to understand what is really going on, why is it going on, okay? Uh, Along with its biblical context. Because this is a Bible-based channel, ladies and gentlemen. See, without the spiritual knowledge, all we have is then the physical human knowledge, which is half of it. Okay? And it has been corrupted anyway. So the only true knowledge comes from the spiritual realm, which, by the way, we were created. Before you and me existed, there's the everlasting, from everlasting to everlasting spiritual realm, which is the creator, the great I am. Okay? Now, one thing that I would like to push before we get started is I would like to bring to your attention or to ask you to please take a look at the links that I will send you. It's going to be like, what, 5 or 6 links, maybe less. Because to kind of, to give you an idea, to make you understand as to what exactly is being covered here and why. Okay? So, without further ado, let me read you what I wrote. And then read some Bible verses and take it from there, okay? And then we finish. See, a system divided against itself will always fall, will never stand. And this is exactly what happened to the last mighty empire, which was called the Roman Empire. And being that each empire followed each other's footsteps due to their relationship to one another, hence they all will fall. England became an empire, and then she fell. Then the United States, just like the United States being worked from within, is prophesied to fall badly. In fact, in the Bible, she is called the daughter of Babylon. And due to being that the United States is so naive by design, it has been watched, conditioned, and worked by its own created demons. After all, she is called the daughter of Babylon in the Bible. Okay? Now let me give you some of the organizations that has been working the United States and eating it from inside, from within. The civil rights movement back in Martin Luther King's time. 2. The feminist movement pushed by George Soros. The Me Too movement pushed by George Soros. Antifa movement pushed by George Soros. Black Lives Matter movement being pushed by George Soros. 6. The Order Out of Chaos movement. Okay? That's what this man is doing. This man is so evil that not even his own country, Hungary, want him there. Okay? Now, something so ridiculous that it boggles the mind is being pushed. It's called the Black Anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, and this is a message. In fact, I would probably title this video a message to the Black Lives Movement. Because my brother, you are God's people. You are descendants of the tribe of Judah. What in the world are you doing with all this movement, with all this Black Lives Matter? In fact, the Black Lives Matter, the co-founders, they are telling you to your face, they are trained Marxists. So your movement have been hijacked, just like the Black Panther movement. Do you remember the Black Panther movement? That's what they do. You think they're gonna let you? You think they're gonna let God's people succeed? You think they're gonna let black people grow? Come on, they're always corrupt, God's movement, because we live in an evil world, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, and this goes back again to the chapter that I have read to you so many times. Genesis 25. That's where the story begins between the brown people and the white people. Okay? That Rebecca had twin sons in her belly. Now, if you don't base nothing on Bible, then I don't know what you're doing listening or even prescribing to this channel. Just keep on going. Because unless you want to see reality for what it is, then you are wasting your time. Okay? Because the danger in knowing the truth is once you know it, you cannot go back. You cannot say, whoa, I think I heard something like that, but I didn't agree with it. It's not about whether I'm not here for you to agree with me or not. I'm here to bring you a message that you can research and on your own before you believe me. In fact, I would even suggest that you actually research what I say here before you even prescribe to before you even subscribe to my channel. Because then you know that, and just like it says in John 8, verse 32, it says, and they shall know the truth, and the truth shall make them free. Who said that? Yahushua, whom the world called Jesus Christ. So you understand, this is real. So the NFL now is pushing another brainwash thing, full of racism, called the Black Anthem. Okay, Black Anthem is so nonsensical. It's so divisive. And yet the song that they're going to be singing was a song that came in Lincoln's generation, Abraham Lincoln, the same man that you are trying to bring down the statues. The statues have been coming down all over the United States. Okay, in fact, I forgot his name, the regional leader in New York, he said it on a Fox interview, said that unless the United States or the system gives in to the Black Lives Matter demands, this system will burn. We will burn it down. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and in particular to that gentleman, and and one of the things that he said is that he believes in our Savior, Yahushua, whom the world called Christ. Okay, but then again, he's confused. Because you're not going to make judgment. The one that's going to pass judgment is the Creator. In fact, the Bible clearly states that the Creator says, vengeance is mine. So when you see leaders of the movement of Black Lives Matter talking about that they are trained Marxists, do they even know what they're talking about? Marxist is responsible for the death of millions of people throughout history. In fact, it's the same as communism. They just label it the same. They just label it different, but it's all the same. Communism, um, communism, capitalism, socialism, Marxism. It's all the same, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's keep going. See, these are all created by the same game masters. Okay, and each game master has a job to do. Okay, so you got to understand that we have been played. The United States of America and the United States of America's mainstream media is very well aware of its influence on the blind and gullible society and their evil agenda, especially against God's people. In fact, remember, well, you probably, I don't know if you've seen the links that I sent you where Chris Cuomo, the governor of New York, which is a state where I grew up in, he said that, this is not about thanking God. Okay? Now, his brother, Chris Cuomo, on CNN, came out saying that, making a total mockery out of God. Ladies and gentlemen, these people are evil. The United States is currently demonically possessed. Okay? All right. So, and let me just tell you how their psychology works. So, they create a religious system that they control due to the 501c3. Remember, all the religious organizations don't pay taxes. And the reason, I have explained the reason many, many times over here. But if you're new to the channel, the reason they don't pay taxes is obviously the religion is pushing their evil agenda to make sure that people accept the mark of the beast when it comes. And what is the mark of the beast? It's worshiping which God you're going to worship. That's all. And the day that you're going to worship. For instance, today is God's day. God, the day of the Sabbath day, the day of rest. In fact, it's the fourth commandment of the 10 commandments that is right behind my back here. All right, so before I run out of time, let me just read you some of these verses right here on the Bible. So, first of all, let us go to Psalm 83. Psalm 83. So that you can understand where I'm coming from with this. Okay, Psalm 83. Check this out. They have said, "Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." So now you understand that we have been worked up until this latter days, the end of days that we are living in under. We have been worked. Okay, for instance, today is supposed to be the 4th of July. The independence of the United States. But independence from what? Because unless you know the truth, unless you come to the place that God, unless you obey God's commandments, which are this behind me, unless you live in the way God, your Creator, wants you to live by, then there's no independence, because the demons they always will have the better of you. Believe me. So Psalm 83, you may say, well, They have said, who are they? Remember the song by Michael Jackson? They really don't care about us? Well, they are the game masters, the evil people, the evil powerful men that control the elite. Some people call them the Illuminati, the Freemasons. I call them for what they are, the devil's disciples. Okay? All right, so here we go. So now that you got an idea as to what I'm talking about here, now let's go to Proverbs 14. Okay? Chapter 14, Proverbs 14, it says, there is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. So you understand? The way we see things is totally wrong. It's destruction. Okay? That's what it amounts to, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? So this is a message for Black Lives Matter. You have been worked. You have been conditioned. You have been infiltrated. Okay? And you know this. I mean, the minute that you call yourself, that you are, by your co-founders, that you are trained Marxists, do you realize what you're talking about here? So now you understand as to why we are the lost tribes, the lost 12 tribes of Israel. Now, do not confuse me by these weird guys on your corner street that call themselves the Israelites. No, I'm not them, because they talk about the white man is a devil. The white man is not a devil. Okay, we are all devil. We are all evil. We are all slave to sin, and that's why we all die. Now, of course, one thing is that, and another thing is the fact that there's a descendants of God's people, which is the 12 tribes, which I have mentioned to you many times before. Okay, tribe of Reuben, Simeon, Levi, which is the tribe, which are the Haitians, Judah, which is the African Americans, Issachar, which is the tribe of, which is the Mexicans, Gad, G-A-D, which is the Native Americans, Ephraim, which are the Puerto Ricans, and so on. Okay, so you better know who you are, and you got to follow God's statutes. So to Black Lives Matter, don't you see that you've been blind by this rage? See, when you hate, you become what you hate, even worse. Twice over. And you hate. And look what's happened. Look what's happened now. You have become what? You have become the problem. You are the racist now. Your organization is racist. When you talk about Black Lives Matter, what does that entail? Remember that. It entails that other lives don't matter. And you have fallen into the trap. Remember that the police department is a Masonic organization all over the United States. It is controlled by them. And so it's no marvel that they hate God's people. And they will kill some of us every now and then. But you cannot escape the reality that, according to a statistic, white people are killed more frequently than us black people. And you may say, well, why is that, Ruben? Well, of course, there are more of them than there of us here in the United States. Okay? That's a reality. But, I mean, if we look at worldwide, then that's different. There's more of God's people. I mean, even the tribe of Reuben, we are all over the place. We are in Australia. We are the indigenous people in Australia, the tribe of Reuben. Okay, so now that you understand that, so I don't hate. We don't hate. We're not supposed to hate any white people. No. But you got to understand as to why people got into the mess that they're in. It's not for you to hate them, because you have become worse. I mean, look at you. I mean, have you taken a look at the? Of course, you're not interested in the black on black crime in Chicago, Baltimore, Florida, New York. I mean, you name it. California. We have always killed each other. There's more of us killing ourselves. Don't their life matters? What about the hundreds of thousands of kids that are aborted by our black ladies? Do their lives matter? Where are you? Now, again, before I run out of time, I gotta move fast. I gotta move fast right now. Let us go to James 4. Man, because I'm afraid I'm gonna run out of time. James chapter 4, verse 4. You adulterers and adulteresses, know you not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God. So you got all these Hollywood artists. You got all this what's his name? Bobby Wallace. That found a noose. He found a noose in his garage. Ladies and gentlemen, don't you see the demons have come home to roost? They are all playing you, and you are falling right into their hand. And the day of the slaughter will come soon, and all of our people, most of our people, will be destroyed and killed. Okay? And you're going to tell me right there that Black Lives Matter? What about the drug abuse in our community? What about the gun violence in our community? What about don't their lives matter? No, you hate the cops. Defund the police, you claim. See, don't you see that you are setting yourself up? And then once you see all this Hollywood artists and all this sports franchise, and you see all these politicians, even the National Guard, even some policemen kneeling down with you, don't you understand that this is all part of the plan? Setting you up. Open your eyes. Yeah. What did I just roll? What did I just read to you? Let me read it again. You adulterers and adulteresses, know you not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God. That's right. Because the whole world will be judged. And believe me, it's not going to be pretty. You mean to tell me that you are, by design, by telling people that Black Lives Matter, you are actually destroying Black lives by the millions. So the blood of them will be upon your hand. Before I run out of time again, let me see if I can actually I'm about to run out of time, ladies and gentlemen. Let us go to chapter 18. Revelation chapter 18 says the following. And after this thing I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is falling, and is become the habitations of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful birth. 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that you not be partakers of her sins, and that you receive none of her plagues. Okay? And let us jump real quick to verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall beware her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of the burning. 10. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, the mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. 12. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stone, and of pearls, and fine linen, and purple, and silk, and scarlet, and all time wood, and all manner vessels of ivory, and all manner vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble. 13. And cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beast, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of man. So, to close this thing, this is a message for Black Lives Matter, for George Soros, and the police department out there. Okay? Policemen, please understand that you have been controlled since your inception by the Masonic legions, which are demons. Black Lives Matter, you have been infiltrated. You are trained Marxists, which have cost the millions of people throughout its history. Do your research. You mean to tell me that Black Lives Matter, but you identify with people that destroy lives? Doesn't even begin to make sense. But we are living in an era of we live in an illogical era. Sense don't make sense in our days. So up is down, down is up. We live in a topsy-turvy world. Good is bad, bad is good. Anyway, this is all for now. I want you to understand that you have been bamboozled. And that only goes to show, Black Lives Matter, that we have been worked and we are lost without knowing our past. If you don't know your past, how can you know your future? If you don't know where you came from, how can you move forward for a brighter future, going to the promised land? How are you going to destroy this system? Are you kidding me? This system will destroy you before they allow you to destroy them. These people got the power. The devil is in power, and they hate, and he hates God's people. And going back to getting along with everybody, my best friend was a white man, white as snow. Actually, a little kid when we used to. Well, now he's a man, but when we used to go to junior high school, we used to go to junior high school back in New York, where I grew up, as I previously mentioned. And we were the best of friends. We don't see. We were seeing things. We were living in like the way things should be. We get along and I love everybody. Love thy neighbor as thyself. That's how I live my life. And that's what this is the purpose of this video. Come back to God. Pray to Him for your forgiveness of your sins, and have a strong relationship with Him. And you will see the difference. You will see how He will help you. Because this is a spiritual war, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? It's not time to destroy the system. The system will destroy itself. Okay? So Black Lives Matter, as much as I love your concept, you are going in the wrong direction. And you are going to kill